Welcome to the World Nomads podcast, delivered by World Nomads, the travel lifestyle and insurance brand. It's not your usual travel podcast. It's everything for the adventurous, independent traveler.
Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kim and alongside me is Phil. And in this episode, we're travelling to Morocco.
Very exotic indeed. North African country bordering the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Do you know it's the fifth largest Arab country by population? There's over 33.5 million people in the country. Of course, it's known for, predictably, sand dunes, but also beaches and markets and mountains.
And it also, Phil, forms the backdrop to many foreign films that have been entirely, or at least partially, shot in Morocco, which brings us to your quiz question.
Name 3 Hollywood movies that have been filmed in Morocco. And if you say Casablanca, you're wrong. That was filmed in Burbank, California.
It was entirely
Inside
on
the
site.
studio.
Yeah,
All
on
right.
site.
Pick 3 others.
We'll have the answer at the end of the episode, but we don't have any Hollywood stars in this episode, Phil. Our guests are stars in their own right, including yourself. Ollie runs a business called Rad Season. It's an all-in-one website for finding and booking accommodation to the best action, sports, adventure and music festivals in the world. He's going to chat surfing in Morocco. We'll find out about capturing the best pics with Ralph, and Claudia will share her story of her time with a family. And it was around Thanksgiving, which is a really important time to Americans, isn't it?
Yep.
Plus, meet the girls who are travelling to every country in the world. But our first guest is Marek Bron. He was a gaming designer. I know, right?
Right.
He quit his job to travel. Now, he runs the travel blog called Indie Traveller, and it's sharing budget travel guides alongside tips on packing and gear. And Morocco is one of the destinations that feature on the site. And Marek has broken down a visit there into 3 key areas.
I think what I did was probably so I spent a month in Morocco, and it struck me that there are some sort of itineraries or routes that people usually might want to consider. I think there's sort of the standard trip seems to be Marrakesh, the city of Marrakesh, and the Sahara. Those usually go together in a 1-week experience where in the old city for a while, exploring the markets, maybe staying in a riad, one of those traditional sort of almost palatial little hotels with a courtyard. You go to the Sahara. That's like 1 week sort of a classic Morocco experience, I would say. And there are 2 other sort of clusters of popular destinations. One in the north, closer to Spain. You can even get there from Spain with a ferry. And one further to the south, which you can reach quite easily if you fly to Agadir, for instance, which is kind of a seaside resort place. Not usually my kind of thing. I like to explore and discover in the country, but actually Agadir, it's really well connected. So from there you can do a trip around the south very easily.
There's not many places where you can put sand dunes, beaches, mountains and desert into the kind of top 5 things that it has going for it. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, it is. I think Morocco is great, actually. It is a very unique destination, and it is so close to Europe as well. I mean, I'm from Europe, so it's easy for me to get there. But other listeners who might be from Australia or the United States, it's a really great add-on to, if you're visiting Europe anyway. Because it's just so different. You go there and just culturally it's completely different, and just visually as well. All these desert towns and these markets and everything is a whole different little world. I like to have these sort of immersive experiences when I travel, and that's really definitely possible in Morocco, whether in the Sahara where it's just sand stretching out as far as you can see, or you're going through a little town's marketplace, and there's just so many smells and spices and different things going on there, so much activity. So that's just I think one of the most appealing things about Morocco. It just feels like a very very unique and different place.